metres wide, it's the same. It's the same whether it's there or it's there. I made those recommendations on the 22nd of May, some 8 weeks prior to racing. All of these teams are in the process of building their new rudders at that time. There's been a lot of rubbish about, oh, we've sailed for 59 days and we've got used to our control surfaces and bits and pieces. I can tell you, those teams have only just fitted their new rudders that they had the chance to build symmetrical and comply. Once again, I'll quote for you from Dean Barker. If I can find it.
So, Iain, I mean, you're saying that this charge that the teams are learning about this 1 week ahead of racing or 2 weeks ahead of racing, you don't accept that?
I don't accept that because they've all got new rudders that they're just learning with anyway. They've all come back to me as well and said, we only have one set of rudders that comply with the depth. Our other rudders won't be here until the middle of August. Our racing rudders won't be here till the middle of August.
Right. I think at this point, Iain, if you're okay, we'll open it up and take some questions from you folks. You had a chance to talk to Luna Rossa and Emirates Team New Zealand yesterday. I'm sure there's some questions.
Yeah.
Luca?
Yes, a couple of quick ones. If I correctly understood, you said that Grant Dalton comes to you after you first introduced the 37 amendments by saying, I'm fine with that, I will not complain, right? You had the same kind of feedback from anyone of Luna Rossa at the same time?
All the teams agreed in principle to accept the recommendations as a package at the meeting on May the 22nd. Grant Dalton was the one who actually got up, walked to the front of the room and shook my hand in front of everyone else.
Okay. No one from Luna Rossa did the same, just to know.
They all just agreed.
Okay, without shaking hands. Okay, just a secondary point. You supposed to, well, you call independent body your organization without the agreement of 2 of the 3 challenges. Are you considering the opportunity to resign or no?
Am I resigning?
I'm asking if you're considering this option.
I've been employed and nominated by the challengers, accepted by the defender, to run a company on behalf of all the teams, owned by all the teams.
Yeah, but all the teams are 3 and 2 of them now they are protesting against you, so maybe...
I'm not planning on going anywhere.
Okay.
I don't like to leave things unfinished.
Iain, that's an important point about the way ACRM is set up. Who do you work for? Who employs you?
I work for the teams.
And who do you answer to?
I answer to the teams.
But you were appointed on September 2012, if I'm not wrong, which was before
Sorry?
the current teams were, you were appointed by Russell Coutts.
No, I was proposed by Paul Kayard, who was the chairman of the World Series
World Sailing Teams Association, the WSTA.
as laid out in the protocol.
Has been said yesterday many things. For example, that someone had taken advantage of the death of Andrew Simpson. This is a particularly strong quote. You felt offended by that? Which was your reaction?
Yeah, I'm really offended that New Zealand and Luna Rossa are taking advantage of the death.
Oh.
Why did you make any recommendations following the Oracle capsize last year?
We did make some recommendations,
Why didn't you?
and clearly the teams didn't take that accident seriously enough. There was gross inaction by the teams, and my job as to present a safe regatta out on the water had to be stepped up. Clearly the teams weren't doing enough.
But to define this simple, don't you have the perception that this changing, all the stories changing the rules of the game 1 week before the game will start or not? Because
We made the recommendations on the 22nd of May,
yeah, that is 1 month.
and
ago.
they accepted. It's 2 months. 22nd of May was 2 months, over 2 months before.
You have not the perception that one team, that is Emirates in New Zealand, achieve nice speed and safe foiling, stable foiling with nice guys' ideas, and another team that is a defender, Oracle Racing, at the beginning of the story did not achieve the same result, and this thing can change the balance between the two teams.
For sure, performance is not what my job was, or it certainly wasn't any part of these recommendations.
So it's about performance.
What's about performance?
Oh, this drawing is about performance.
This is about safety. This is about control of the boat.
What happens if Monday the jury will agree with Team New Zealand and Rossa?
What will happen?
Yeah.
You will have a situation, if they agree with what New Zealand has proposed, the teams will have to vote on the 7 class rule changes, and it's clear from the teams that they can't agree. So 2 teams won't vote for any 7, 2 teams are happy to vote for 4 or 5, or the other 2 teams are happy to vote for them all as a package, because they see, no one's happy with everything that I've done. No one. 2 of the teams are happy to accept it as a package. 2 teams want to cherry pick the parts that suit them out of it, for performance reasons. What will happen is that you will have none of the safety recommendations endorsed by the AC70 class rule. I have no choice but to go back to the Coast Guard and inform him that the safety plan hasn't been met, and discussion will have to take place whether the permit to race stands or it doesn't stand. I can honestly tell you, if that is the case, I can't put my hand on my heart and say, without restraints to the people to stay in the boats, without the minimum rudder elevator size, without the minimum rudder angle, that I can stand by and say, I've changed my mind and I believe this is safe.
So if I correctly understood, you say that the package 37 altogether.
Yes?
Yeah, so if you take off 2, it's not the same for the Coast Guard. Is correct or not?
That's correct. The Coast Guard sat through the safety recommendation progress.
37.
They sat through, they sent a liaison offer every day. They watched the process, they were happy with the process. They'd worked with a number of the people in the past in the Farallons accidents and bits and pieces. They were happy with the people, the process and the recommendations. For them to change their mind now, they need a reason why. And personal performance gain for a team is not one of them.
This is Noel Randowich of Reuters. I wonder if I could get a quick question in, please.
Go ahead, Noel.
Our understanding is that these 37 rule changes are rule changes that all individually help improve safety a little bit, and altogether probably a lot. But it's not as if it's an all or nothing package. It's not a binary question of whether the AC-72s are now safe or unsafe. Each rule change contributes to the safety. And indeed, that beyond the 37 rules, there are other proposals that have been discussed that weren't adopted that also would have improved improve safety, but for whatever reason weren't adopted. We understand, for example, there was some degree of discussion about maybe even moving the America's Cup to San Diego or somewhere else. Clearly that was decided against. Why not just concede on these two rule changes and go with the other 35, given the other 35 still improve safety quite a lot?
The situation is that I made recommendations on strong consultation, interviews with the teams. I have expanded to allow the asymmetric rudders on Team New Zealand and Luna Rossa because they have told me they haven't provided me with the structural review of their rudders yet. But on the basis that they satisfy these huge loads that we discussed, they can compete. At that time, on May the 22nd, two of the teams made commitment. In actual, three of the teams that I know made commitment to start producing the symmetrical rudders. New Zealand, Artemis and Oracle. Now, Artemis can't comply with the asymmetric rudders to the minimum area. They don't have the resource or the time. They saw the syndicates buy in on May the 22nd. They made the commitment and they got on with it. Oracle Racing, they can comply, they've got the resource, they've got the time, they can sort it out. For me to exclude them